Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So what today we're going to do is we're just going to kind of go over the Nuzlocke Invitational. Any questions you guys may have, I got some fun stories for you. Maybe we'll even talk about like a next year kind of thing. I guess Paula and Simon wanted to know if this was going to be like a Crow Point video. If there is, I guess I should probably do like some sort of like intro for it. It's really truly just going to be me chatting the entire time and answering questions and like off the dome. I held a Nuzlocke Invitational, the biggest stream I've ever done in my entire life with Peachal. And so we're just kind of going over the, what's next with the channel, the cool numbers behind it, fun stories, and any questions that chat may have. It was kind of insane though. I can't believe we pulled it off. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. We put on a crazy event. Honestly, it performed beyond my wildest dreams. How did you guys like it? Tell me. Be serious and be real. Don't like, oh, it was good. Like, if it was bad, it was bad, okay? If it was mid, it was mid. It was all right. All right, cool. I think you guys liked it. Dude, what an insane couple sets there were. We could not ask for a better narrative. Like, the worst thing that could have happened, right? Like genuinely, the worst thing that could have happened is Valkyrae sweeping it all, which isn't bad because it was kind of insane with all of the effort she put in. But the fact, holy shit. Slimecicle beating Valkyrae in the first round? 0-2 Valkyrae into the Valkyrae, like Valkyrae starting as the villain. Oh my god, a new one appears out of nowhere, demolishes everybody in the tournament, and then Ray has to claw back from hell in order to actually beat the one who knocked her out of the tournament in the first place. And we had the upset of the literally the upset of the bracket reset into the final best of 3 going to a game of 3. Like, that was cinema. Just pure cinema. Like, I can't believe that happened. I actually cannot believe it happened. It was one of the most insane things I've ever seen. But yeah, the Invitational was nuts. Before we get into like the stories and all that, I want to really like highlight how insanely popular this stream was. We streamed the Nuzlocke Invitational on both Peachal's Twitch, my Twitch, and also my YouTube channel. 3 different places to watch the stream. Here were the Twitch stats. We had almost 500,000 viewers uniquely on Twitch. This isn't a stat that you'll see here, but the max peak viewership between Peachal and I was about 34K on Twitch. This is YouTube. Peak 22K. Now, not at the same time, but if you combine those, that is about 56. So 56K is my new highest viewed stream of all time by almost triple. So you're a millionaire now, right? No. No. We're losing money on this event. What are you talking about? It's not even what? Okay, we're gonna get to that in a second. I'm extremely open, maybe for better or for worse, about my finances when it comes to events. While I'm not sure how much I can release, because obviously I'm partnering with Peachal here, so then I normally would just tell you guys, but like I probably should talk to him beforehand. I will tell you some of this. First off, streamers make more than you think, but also a lot less than you think, because if you want to do something like this, your expenses are also very high. So then the actual money that you walk away isn't a ton. That's not to say anything. Like I got like some nice things. Like, it's just like I can spend my money. I'm not really worried about bills. That's the obvious. Like, I'm not gonna shy away from that. But I'm not like, I'm looking at my, like, if you Google PointCrow net worth, it's wrong by like zeros. Like, that's what I'm telling you guys right now. Okay. Yeah, guys, I literally couldn't afford a steak dinner for people. But yeah, so the peak viewership of this was 54K out of the over 500,000 unique viewers of the stream. The average view duration was 51 minutes, which is crazy. So here's the thing. I put on good events. This is the one thing that I will truly be unabashedly, unapologetically braggish about. I put on good events. My goal is, you sit down, you watch it, you're like, God damn, PointCrow does it different. And then we do it different. And then we move on to the next thing. Then we move on to the next thing. Like I say often, I don't half-ass events. I don't half-ass things. I full-ass it. You look at the moon and you're like, that's a PointCrow right there. I truly did some phenomenal casting this time around. I want to give a huge shout out to Peachal as well for helping with those casting and the combinations between those. Like, genuinely, it's like we did a great job. And so I'm very, very proud about that. And it seems that like a lot of you guys really saw it. I think some of the most fun that I have with events is when genuinely people will come up to me afterwards and either say, damn, I should have said yes to this. I said no, I was busy. I had a great time. I can't believe I was on this event. Or just honestly, like the FOMO, like of like, damn, like, hey, I'll be there next time. Like that's like the thing of like, I'm not able to host many events because it costs a lot of money, and I try to do it in such a way and pay people very properly. But I want it to be very well known that when I do it, you gotta show up and watch. Like that's it, you know. Like PointCrow's hosting an event. Oh, I haven't heard of him, heard from him in a year. I gotta watch this regardless. Like that is the goal. And I think this one was one of my favorites I've ever done. This event, let's get into the next thing, was largely unsponsored, which was a disappointment. Well, I tried. A lot of the times, I'll just fully be honest with you guys. A lot of the times when I wouldn't stream, I'd have to skip a stream day. I was in the mines trying to get a sponsor for this event, doing my best. Like we did a public reach out. We did, I hit up every friend I know that was attached to any community manager or any PR team, anything ever. I had to skip a whole bunch of stuff. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. Now, there were one or two that fell through because of either their product was pushed back, so they didn't have stuff at the time to do it, or something else happened, which was like, hey, that totally works. But a lot of them came back and said, we don't understand what this is truly, so we're just going to say no, which was really disappointing. Even exclaiming how well our other events did, truly the large majority of the current advertising industry still doesn't understand what streaming is. They get YouTube, which is good, but they don't get streaming. And if you're like, wow, PointCrow, I can't believe they don't know what streaming is, try to explain it to your parents. The average person who's working PR for an entertainment or any company probably doesn't know about Twitch. Twitch is a lot smaller than you think. Even though there is a mass audience that has adopted this platform, Twitch is incredibly small. Now, I'll say the elephant in the room too. Ludwig and offbrand. It was offbrand through Ludwig. Did kick back $5,000 for Aethermancer. So shouts to Aethermancer, who did hit me up literally 2 days before the tournament and was like, hey, actually, we can kick some money towards you. So that was pretty huge. Now, don't get it twisted. I do want to say both things because he's the one who disclosed how much they paid me. So I'm just going to rip that one out. Okay. Like that's okay. Like we all know this one. He ended up giving $5,000 to the event. It was a deal for them. I want to make it very clear. This is not like a diss against. This is huge for Aethermancer. And do me a favor, still, genuinely go wishlist Aethermancer, because that is one of the best ways we can show a future sponsor, hey, they paid $5K for this and they got a bajillion wish lists that they wanted. Okay, like that's what I'm saying. To put it into perspective of the event, I feel like this is the best way to show you how much it cost. It covered like most of the hotel rooms, not the flights, not the venue, production, payments for modders, artists, website designs. It was most of the hotel room. I'd say 90% of the hotel room. So it's something. We're like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Like we will take that in a heartbeat. The cost of it, I'd say is, I've been public about my costs of events earlier. I think PointCrow Party was $500,000. We did the funeral for about, I think, $15K. The IRL battleship was $250,000. Surgery was about $100,000. And then this event, I'd have to obviously ask if I could disclose this from Peachal, but I will say this, it is under $100,000, but it is not very much under $100,000. And before you're like, whoa, PointCrow makes a lot of money. But clearly not. I'm spending all of my money on events. What are you talking about? It was right there, right? Okay, it's we're still also doing like the final costs and everything for it. I'd say we're probably making back about 20-30% of the cost. In case you guys want to know what the finances are, right? I'm just ripping off the band-aid, just starting with this before we get into anything else, right? And that's why not having a sponsor hurts so much. How important is it to be in person? They do online tournaments. Is that an option to keep it alive in the future? It's well alive. I'm not saying it's dead. I lose money on events all the time. It's actually, I think the only 2 events that have actually made money was the SAT video and the funeral video by like a couple $100s. Yeah, no, I lose money on events all the time. We wanted to do it in person because it's just so much better. I mean, imagine if you're doing a podcast, for example, on Zoom. It's not interactive enough. You're watching a Zoom call. It's like doing it in Showdown versus in Scarlet and Violet. One is a lot more immersive. The other one's a battle simulator. Scarlet and Violet has its own problems, obviously, but like it's more entertaining. You can get more engrossed into it. There's a lot more interaction. So yes, we could have done it for dirt cheap and kind of whatever, but we wanted to spend money because that's what it is, right? We wanted to make it unforgettable, and that's kind of there.
Slimecicle villain origin story was so good.
Dude, it was crazy. Like the reveal from Slimecicle that he's been practicing this entire time. Here's the thing you guys don't even know about, or I guess he mentioned it on like his stream before. He was privately messaging my creative director, Cat, pretty much for weeks during it, stating that he wanted this to be a surprise of how much he was actually practicing. And the reveal at the tournament, Cat knew about this too, right? The reveal, and also like changing into the Team Rocket uniforms. He was not like that like 5 minutes before. He didn't show up with that. He showed up in his just regular outfit, chilling. And then as we're doing the introductions, you know, I'm speeding back doing my audio. Him and Freezeye changed real fast to go into the Rocky uniforms. So that was a surprise, as well as how long he's actually practiced for. You can say all you want. Oh, I practiced for, you know, like 100 hours or whatever, right? But the fact that he actually did it and it showed so well in his tournament performance, like genuinely, I don't know too much about VGC. I know some, enough to commentate, but he knew more. He was like, no, of course, like I'd have to double switch there because like I know the right move was they were threatening the Glacial Lance double kill here, and I was like, holy, oh my god. So that was like a huge shock. We loved it.
It's funny cause on the very first stream you mentioned the invitational. I said I'm gonna root for Valkyrie. I like her vibe and I feel like I called it.
The funniest thing is at the end of the day, everyone was rooting for Valkyrie. Like Slimecicle played a fantastic villain. Like here's the thing, as a player, as a commentator, as somebody who's just involved with the event, I wanted Slimecicle to win. As an organizer of the event, I want the person that puts the most effort into it, the most like really just truly the most love back into the event, into it to win. Because it's like the least I could like. The worst thing that could happen is like you put a ton of effort and then you don't do anything. So it's like I wanted that. But then as the content creator, I was like, oh, I have to cheer for Valkyrie because the narrative of her being the villain, usurped as the villain and left to be the lone hero of the group, was just such a cool story to tell. So I was like, I was going to root for Ray. But here's the true thing, guys. If we got to the best situation, because we were in the finals and I was like, whoever wins this is good. Like, I was like, you know what? Actually, not even at the finals. Like, at the very start of the entire tournament, this was the huge thing. I was like, Peach and I talked about it, and we were like, literally, anybody who wins this is like, we have a great story. Like, this is just amazing. Going into like the start of the tournament, we were like, whoever wins this is just great. So it was awesome that we had a story to tell for both of them.
Next, we do Keizo Ironman Invitational, where a bunch of streamers have to beat it and then have to win 1v1 battles using their Winongmon against each other.
That sounds like hell. No. Veto. The fact was like, oh, they're doing a Soul Link, right? Let's talk about that. When Ludwig and Drew lost and they came to the bench and everything, and I was like, okay, I know a lot of you guys are trying to do like maybe like a Soul Link together. It'd be really fun. Ludwig is like down and like Drew was like maybe down. I'm not too sure. I wanted to be like, okay, let me promote this for them because they seem to be down. I know that Ludwig's busy and Drew might be busy. So let me just like shoot together like a month, give them a month break of August and so they can prep it for September. So I was like, okay, guys, they're doing it in September. And then Ludwig comes out like, yeah, the 11th. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we're going to do it on September 11th. That's what that's for. And I was like, what? And he's like, that's why you chose September, right, PointCrow? I was like, no. He was like, the titans of the Nuzlocke community, the two towers, the twin pillars, you know, Soul Link, you know, like two immovable pillars. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, oh, this is the joke that we're telling now. Maybe I'm glad that this was largely unsponsored. Yeah, there was something about like, Stefan was like, yeah, Drew and Kaya were like getting down. And then like, Ichao was like, So you mean they had sex, right? And then like Stefan's like, wait, no, that's not. He's like, no. They fully, and it's just like, what the f is this joke? Yeah, if you're gonna suck it, do it from the back. That was a fucking crazy line. And he told me too, he's like, saying jokes like that was like helping his nerves because he's like, nah, this is just like a chill event, right? Here's also the thing. I got like a couple people, and this is like actually a huge compliment of being like, PointCrow, like this was scripted, like some conspiracy theories of like this was scripted. There's no way that they blah blah blah. Guys, the amount of work it would put in to getting everybody on the same page about a script would be crazy. That'd be insane. Holy shit. The amount of effort that would put in. Now, I'm not beyond putting in that kind of effort, but like sometimes you literally like, here's the thing. If you create a good foundation and a good sandbox, and then you put like some of the best streamers that can work in that sandbox together, you will create art. That's what I'm, oh God, this stream's literally just glazing myself, okay? You know, obviously you need to get good streamers with big names and numbers by them. But here's the thing, and I will just like state this. If you are not good at improv or like creating something out of nothing, likelihood I won't cast you because I can create the God's gift to foundational sandboxes. But if you can't deal with that or do something with it, then likelihood it's just not worth it. Even if you have the largest name like on the platform, which that's not to call out anybody in specific, right? That's the key thing. Is like you have to be good at that. What do you mean by that? If you get a big streamer with a big viewer count next to their name, but you know in your heart of hearts that they won't put in effort, then they are not a good fit for the event because otherwise they won't care. And then them not caring makes other people not care. And then it kind of is just shit at the end of it. And then you're just like, what are we doing here? So it's like, I would rather take a streamer with a smaller number next to their name who will put in that effort to make it better than one with a bigger one. It makes it just amazing content 9 times out of 10. Now, maybe the viewership of the event will be slightly less, but like everyone's going to walk away being like, yeah, what insane. Everyone's gonna walk away with a favorite. Love to make content by acting like not caring for the event. Here's the thing. Some people may dog Lud or like praise whatever, right? Let me give you the fact about Ludwig. The reason why Ludwig, in my opinion at least, is so good for events and why I will invite him over and over again is because he has such great situational awareness about any event that he will place himself as the character to fill in any spot you need in a story. Yeah, his ego's gonna be super high. I already told him this. All right, like I told him this in DMs, but like that's the key thing. He's very good at making you care. And even when you don't care, he's very good at making you care about something else. For example, in this bracket here, he hyped up the Ray versus Ludwig matchup. So everyone was looking forward to the Ray versus Ludwig matchup. Ray dogged him. Put him into the ground, right? Was like, hey, do you remember what ostrich do? Yeah, put your neck in the sand. And so he played it off really well, right? He's like, holy shit, I can't believe it. So he played a little bit more into the fact that he didn't practice. And then also with the whole thing where Drew was like, oh, I lost the paper that we had specifically for Ray's speed stats, which is like cool. He had a good end to his character arc. It was awesome. But here's the thing that like really stood out to me personally. Peachel and I were taking kind of breaks in between. The couch was free for commentating, etc. He knew that he was out, and he immediately saw that it was me alone going to commentate this. And rather than be like, okay, cool, let's see how he does, he hopped on the mic. And not only was he like trying to commentate, but he was doing it in such a way where, because he lacked some VGC knowledge, he was asking me questions to help my commentary. So then that segment, while Peachel was gone as the play-by-play, he really like allowed me to step into that role a little bit more. And so that's a key thing that you always want in an event, is somebody that will like do that. So Ludwig, like specifically, like, hey, you can like him, you can hate him, but like, here's the thing. He's good at what he does, and he's good at being a villain. He's good at being a storyteller. He's good at making you root against him. The fact that you care is awesome. Slimecicle solo show though. Here's the thing too though. This is similar to like WWE. You can't have a Slimecicle without a Ludwig. You can't have a Slimecicle without a Valkyrie. You can't have a Slimecicle without everybody else. Slimecicle, phenomenal, okay? Like he took it and ran with it. That is an indication of a fantastic content creator and good storyteller. But you can't build up this villain without being destroyed first. It's like WWE in that way. You have to have a heel. The only way that you can build somebody up as this unstoppable force is if they beat somebody that you already think is unstoppable. So Slimecicle beating Ray and Ludwig, you're like, holy shit, Slimecicle, we have to take him seriously. I didn't get a single steak dinner. Alana, what do you mean? Didn't I mention to you that I was going to take you and a friend to a steak dinner after in like a couple weeks? Well, you didn't. No, chat. I was going to. No. We were always. Yeah, no. Yeah. Remember the steak dinner that we planned? Yeah. Do you remember that? I don't know if you did. We were going to bring Ethan, actually, your pseudo coach, your half coach, and he was going to pay. Do you not remember that part? This is like having Archidel all over again. Useless.
Maybe you could do an event like this where you instead invite random viewers/fans to partake in it. That'd be so cool.
Here's the thing. I probably won't. That requires just so much trust that I don't have. You can do it though. You can do it. That's an idea for you. This is not an original idea. I've never pretended this to be an original idea. This is a Bai's Twitch cup wrapped in Peachal and I's own creative twist, right? That they came up with it first. That's where the idea came from. I was at, hilariously, a steakhouse with Peachal in 2022 after he released that video and said, hey, I would love to do this with you with our own twist. So go for it. Yeah, this idea, literally, like me talking to Peachella, this did actually originate at a steakhouse. If you're curious, it does come full circle. It didn't end with one. Yeah, the reason why it didn't end with one is because well, there's a next year, isn't there? If we haven't, okay, guys, we haven't confirmed. I was robbed. So I will be completely honest with you guys, like genuinely, because why not? I would love there to be a next year. It sounds like a really fun thing to do, a yearly Nuzlocke invitational. Obviously, I have a call with Peachal later this week, kind of going over like the finances. Here's the main rub. We did not make much money off of it. We weren't planning on making money off of it, but we also, to be candid, weren't expecting to spend so much. I'm really disappointed with the sponsor stuff. The other thing is to be fair, promised Peachal, I was like, don't worry, we will have a sponsor. The number you see for the expenses won't be the actual number. So that's on me, because I was like, hey, no, we're going to. Because, my perspective, obviously, is like, there's no way we don't. Don't worry, Peachal's fine with it. We're talking about it. I've also already offered to pay for the entire thing. He says no. Don't worry about it. Like, genuinely, there's not like a thing here, okay? Don't go fishing. But that's the thing where it's like, the next year needs to be sponsored, or we don't have it. Like, I don't want to run this again without it. So that's where it's kind of like, we need it, especially if we want to do it bigger and better. I've already talked with a little bit of the production people for the post-production, and we have some great ideas. I want to do bigger and better. We've already mentioned, how cool would it be, and some of you guys wanted, right? So we're getting into next year plans kind of thing, right? So let's talk about this, right? A lot of you mentioned how cool it would be to have a live audience. How hype that would be. Like, that'd be so sick, man. Be neat. That costs a lot of money. I know, if we have live viewership, the tickets, I don't know how expensive they're going to be, but like, obviously it's going to be money and like, live audience. That's the other thing too, is like, I'm unsure how much demand there is for an actual live audience, because I would love to charge for it, but also it's free. We've never really done a live audience before. Like, it feels, I don't know. I have no idea to think about it. So that's kind of the thing. I don't know. Regardless, for a next year thing, we are heavily looking into it. I think there will be a next year. I think Peachal wants there to be a next year. I think a lot of the production wants there to be a next year. I think a lot of you guys want there to be a next year. So it seems like everything is going towards a next year. We will see. I will promise you this, though. I will promise you this, okay? If you guys can take one thing from this, if you want there to be a next year, watch the videos that we put out. I'm going to have a main channel video. Peachal's going to have a main channel video. I believe we're splitting them. Peachal's going to focus largely on the obvious part of the Nuzlocke Invitational, the Nuzlocke portion. My video is going to largely cover the tournament portion, right? So then we have that together, and he's going to do some pretty cool analysis on it. The one takeaway is that, trust me, if there's a next year, you will know about it. We will announce it officially. It'll be a thing. We'll work on it, and we will tell you, hey, Nuzlocke Invitational 2 is happening. Or sorry, 2 Nuzlocke 2 Invitational. I don't know. Like, let's talk about the website. What's happening with the website? First off, we really worked as hard as we could to get every single playthrough. Oh my God, everybody's live. Holy shit. We worked really hard to get every single person's playthrough edited down. We did end up running into a whole thing of like, hey, we have to edit everybody's playthroughs and we only have we have to edit 8 people's playthroughs and we only have 5 days. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do all of them. So we did get 6 of them done. Obviously, wish we could have done before, but I told you guys beforehand to not expect it. We will not be doing a week 4 recap. There's like no real point in doing it, especially if we're already having the playthroughs. It doesn't make sense, especially after the actual invitationals happened. The website will stay live. I'm kind of talking with Fabian on how much it takes to maintain, how much money it takes to maintain the website. So we're just kind of, you know, seeing about that. So all this will be pretty much still available. Merch, unsure how long the merch will be up for, but it'll definitely be up for a couple weeks after all of our videos are out. So when Peachel's video's out, my video's out, right? Like we'll still have them available. So the people that are learning about the invitational via our YouTube videos can still purchase the merch. Which, speaking of which, holy shit, the amount of merch sales we got during the live event. Thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy your merch. There are a lot of you guys that ended up purchasing them, and it does mean a lot. They're pretty cool. They're great. I'm really excited for you to get them. I wore my shirt IRL and someone recognized it. That's awesome. I hate to disappoint you guys. I guess I'll talk about this one more time, but we have 0 plans to release the game that we played. Sorry about that. You might be really disappointed about it, but like, I hope you truly understand why we won't. This isn't like big streamer gatekeeping, blah, 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 because Nuzlocke Invitational, all this stuff. Trust me on this. There is nothing more that I would like more than to be like, guys, everybody play this. We made something so cool. Go do it. Because I did do that once. And I almost didn't have a YouTube channel because of it. So that's why. So do not blame Peachal or I for this. It is not our fault for making that decision. This is a decision that comes from the big guys upstairs, you know? I want to let you know that I want to, but I will not because I can't.
Love the moment both Fusely and Slime started their match with Ray's team.
So we were all confused from the couch when they started with Ray's team, when both of them actually did that. Apparently it was an agreement from both of them because they're like, don't you just want to know what it feels like? Just have Ray's team. Like, don't you just want to like see what it feels like? So we're really confused. But luckily we reset it. That was hilarious. It was really funny. They kind of went rogue just to feel something.
If there is a next year, would you consider making it a 2-day thing with day 1 being players and day 2 being coaches, money permitting?
I'm not a huge fan of that. Well, first off, it like literally doubles the production cost. It'd be pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of it just because part of the cool thing about like the invitational tournament was seeing the teams for the first time. So seeing the coaches do it, I feel like would get either a similar result or like it just wouldn't be as, I don't know, it just wouldn't, I guess it just wouldn't, it's just not as appealing for me. But if the coaches want to host it, I am so down to like promote that, right? Like an unofficial kind of like coaches tournament, like, oh, hey, like in Showdown, if you guys want to run it, like, hell yeah.
Was the logo on the field a rug and who got to keep it? It was super pretty.
It was a rug. I didn't know that it was being made before I got there. Like a lot of the set was the brainchild of Real Good Touring, who did the production, Abby, who was the producer, and Very Tired Cat, who was the creative director. So a lot of that was all of them. And so it was largely a surprise because, you know, Peach and I were doing everything else with the promo and all that. The dress rehearsal was the first time that we saw the studio in person. So we saw the rug and we were like, this is the coolest thing ever. And so I asked, I was like, can I keep the rug? And they're like, yeah, you paid for it. I was like, oh, I did. Right. I forgot. It's like, oh yeah, wait, this whole thing is, yeah, that makes sense. Here's my thoughts. If we had to do like a next year, obviously I would like to make the actual production like bigger, you know? It'd be like really cool to have that. Maybe like a different room for the participants and like a bigger space. I don't think live audience, that sounds like a lot to ask for like another year. Like, you know, I'd love to eventually, but like, once again, that's money, man. That's money. Pokemon Company sponsorship, brother. I think I'm just happy that the thing exists. I don't think I can ask for their money. I'm just thinking about it, and it's like the thought of a live audience is just so much more complex than you think. You literally give the address to the studio to everybody. You have to get security. That's a huge deal. You're not only feeding production and crew and cast, but you're now trying to feed and shelter several others, right? So like maybe even 100, 200 people, maybe more, right? Like that's a whole thing. You need you have place for parking. Space is a huge one. And then to make it worth it, you'd have to make the tickets cost a lot, right? And here's the other thing. You don't want an event where like you sell tickets and then nobody shows up, right? Like you don't want like you don't want an empty audience. You want it to be full. So you have to like guess on like what to cost, like price the tickets and stuff. So you need to price it expensive enough to cost and like to make some money off of it, but then not as expensive where it's like people will actually buy it to go. Some free and some VIP. I see 0 people coming in for free. If we did it in person, that sounds like a nightmare. This sounds weird, but like a price is a barrier of entry that you would vastly need for anything. So many potential picks for potential next year and potential new coaches. Also, would you include the Legends Pokemon other into the rando for Pokemon? The spread of variety amongst teams seemed really small where the actual competitive VGC had so much variety. First off, I have some ideas for picks and stuff, but I'm not going to tell you. That's for next year. You got to be surprised. But I can answer the idea about Pokemon in the randomizer. So here was the thing about planning the game for everybody to play. We knew that a lot of people going into it have a very fundamental aspect of Pokemon. Like a lot of people are going to go in and then be like, they'll see a Pokemon and be like, what the hell is that? So what we wanted to do was give a lot of familiarity to the new players. So we included gens 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then select ones from gen 5 and onward, like iconic ones. So Zoroark, for example, was included. And then here's where you guys get Dexit all involved, right? So we had this planned out, and then we realized because we're running the tournament in Scarlet and Violet that not all of these Pokemon existed in Scarlet and Violet. So then we did a Thanos snap, and we removed all. So we did gens 1 through 4, and then select Pokemon from gens 5 and onwards, and then we Thanos snapped them all for the Pokemon that weren't in Scarlet and Violet. So, yep. So if they weren't there, then they weren't there. And that's why the dex was a little bit smaller than you think. So maybe in the future more, but yeah, we definitely like were purging it. Also, we were so scared before releasing the gameplay for everybody because it wasn't fun. 2 days before the actual Nuzlocke started, we were playtesting it a whole bunch, and it definitively was not fun to play. It was too hard. The level scaling was weird. It was too long. It was not good. I gave it to Nance, for example. I was like, hey, I know you don't know as much about Pokemon. Can you just play it and let me know if you had a fun time? And Nance came back to me and said, this was really frustrating. I hated it. And I was like, fuck. So shouts to Draz in chat, who played it, I believe, over 21 times. Their fastest completion time was about 51 minutes. And @sign, who was the actual developer of it. So, yep. That's the fun fact about all that. Do you guys have any I talked about most things here. Do you guys have any questions? I think we want to try to make a next year happen. We have a lot of ideas, but I don't want to put anything out that we don't know.
Squid Game tie-in where the losers get executed. Think it will really make it hype.
Yep. Let's do it. Sounds good. I got my chainsaw ready. Oh yeah, I guess Abby also buried the lead there too. This was actually her last event that she is working on for the PointCrow company. So it was like a pretty sick send-off. Yeah. That's the, Here, let me put it in this way. It was a great send-off. We all knew, like, interior, that this was, like, the last sort of event that she was going to work on, with PointCrow. Like, this was, like a great, like, final send-off. Hell yeah, let's make this great. Yeah, make this cool. And, yeah, there's no, like, I think the internet is, like, fresh and ready to go for, like, what happened? Oh, my God. What's the drama? None. This is, like, I just want to let you know, the PointCrow, at the end of the day, is a business, and I do have employees that work for the business. Abby wants to work on more events. She's like, hey, I'm gonna see what's it's like to work as a contractor with a whole bunch of streamers, a whole bunch of different events, really flex that production stuff that she's learned over the past couple of years. And so she wants to go independent. And so that's just how jobs work. That's how it is, right? She's been working for me full-time for 4 years and then been in the community for longer than that too. Genuinely like super awesome. And who's not to say that we're gonna hire her back for contractual stuff in the future. A hole in wait, Kat says a hole in my heart in the shape of a bagel. Not to self-promo, but I put some real old on my Instagram post. That is self-promo. Abby, since I'm sorry, but like since you're not gonna work for me anymore, that you do realize that you are now subjected to the regular chat rules. So mods, can you please take your band hammers and go whisk her off into the sunset? But we will miss Abby. You know, there's a bagel shaped hole in the PointCrow company. I guess the next question, right, is most likely going to be, when is that tournament video coming out? We don't have a total ETA for you guys yet. I need to talk about timing with Peachal, how we're going to do that, because he has a lot more footage than we do, to be honest. So we're going to see what's happening with it, right? I would say within a couple months. It's a lot of time. I think hilariously, I think some people have already asked when, like, is the video coming out next week? The goal is within the year. I think it's extremely reachable. Couple months. Although I do know that Kat could probably put something together in a week. We want to make it extremely good, not just great. Before or after Kaizo Ironmon? Before Kaizo Ironmon, yes. Kaizo Ironmon is a 2026 kind of video. So yeah, we have some cool things coming up, and we'll talk about like a year 2 for the Nuzlocke Invitational. Unclear what it looks like, but I will say this: I don't see a repeat of the players. It'd be cool, but also you can't fundamentally be new to Nuzlockes after doing this anymore, you know? Here's the thing. If this goes long enough, I do see an all-star season though. So that could be a cool idea, right? Like that, if this goes long enough, like the return, that'd be kind of neat. I mean, I can see some coaches returning for sure. I don't know. By the way, all of this is just speculation. I don't know. Once again, this event is equal mine as it is Peachal's. It's obviously also up to Peachal on any of this. Like, we got to agree on it. Are there any points about the planning that you and Peachal disagreed about? Oh, yes, the drama. The drama behind the scenes. No, we pretty much agreed on everything. Or, I mean, like, even if we disagreed on something, like, we worked out something to... I don't really remember. I don't want to address the drama today, guys. Doug is a player next year. Once again, I don't want to address the drama. You can watch Doug's VOD if you want to get the drama. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. If somebody's put their hat in the ring, I do know about it already. I know Stan's, like, went live on his stream and said he would kill somebody to be on it. I was like, oh, that's a lot to... I don't know about murder, but... You'll need to prove a sacrifice to get on the show. Yeah, besides that, honestly, incredibly happy with how it went. I'm really excited to see what we do for next year. All I will promise this, if we do it next year, I will promise it that it will be even better. Not to start the hype early, but we already have ideas on how to get it even better. Thanks for watching, guys. Without you guys, seriously, the event wouldn't even happen. It's literally because of you guys that we were able to even put it on in the first place. Like I say, a lot of the time, I take a lot of the profits that I make from my videos that you guys do end up watching and put that towards events. I don't know how this... It's just... Thank you so much. It's... The fact that you guys are enjoying it at all is all I can ask for. So I appreciate it a lot.
Change the world. My final message. Goodbye.
Chat, look, it's a bottle cap. Whoa, a bottle cap. Look at the bottle cap. Oh my god. Whoa, shiny bottle cap. Oh my god, no way.